So in this video, we're gonna discuss two great ideas, swing ideas that have come into my radar. First one is Chipotle. It's sitting on this Fibonacci fan line. Absolutely love it. It's sitting on the 400 moving average. And this purple line on the weekly chart. On top of that, it's trying to find support. Right now, the price is in a decision mode. It's trying to decide which way is it going to reverse the trend? Is it going to go with the trend, with this downtrend? What's it going to do? It's in a decision mode right now, and it's very interesting that the price has come to a halt near the previous major peak, I must say, in 2012. Um, this peak right here, I think the price dropped like, hold on a second, I think it was like 47-ish percentage, yeah, 47 percentage, and this peak, from this peak to trough, has been around 53%. So it's sitting on that in this very important zone right now, and the thing we look for when the price reverses is on the weekly chart. When the trend starts changing, we look for this. We look for the price to close above the 21 EMA on the weekly chart for the price to close 2 consecutive weeks in a row. If you look at this dark aqua line, that's a 21 EMA. So we look for the price to close above that, not go above it, but close. Closing is very important. Close above it 2 weeks in a row, and this thing hasn't done that since this downward trend started, and closest it came was like back here. This was the first bar that closed. This was going to be the second bar, but it didn't. And look at this, how big this red bar was, and it just boom, it just went below it, and it didn't trigger a buy signal. Other things I'm looking at are how it's flirting with the 200-day moving average. Another great signal. Absolutely love it. The way I would get into this trade is that I would look for the price to close above this trend line. This wedge pattern almost kind of that we're looking at here, this trend line. How price behaves around this area, and if it continues to rally or not. That would be when we press buy on this trade. And and after it does that, our risk reward might be a little different from the way I'm looking at it right now, but our risk shouldn't be a lot, but our reward will be it will be monster on this one. The things that might act as a catalyst for this trade is this guy right here, Bill Ackman. He is he's an activist fund manager, and he takes positions in companies, and if the management's messing up in some ways, he tries to get rid of them or work with them or do all sorts of things. And this guy has a big history with like fast food chains, not fast food chains, but these food companies. Not gonna bore you guys with the details, but go back and look at what he did with Wendy's and Tim Hortons, and then Burger King, and then Tim Hortons ended up merging with Burger King. It's kind of an interesting thing for you guys to look at. And yeah, the financials of this company, I mean, the revenue's drying up. I mean, not drying up, it's going down. Bottom line, profits are going down. But if you look at the history of this thing, it has shown us that this company is like a good company, and it's capable of, like, under a good management, of being like a great business. And Bill Ackman might just do that. So yeah, second good trade idea that we have is Blackstone. This is a financial stock. If you look at the likes of Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America, all these guys have been on a monster rally, but Blackstone has lagged behind. Now, although given Blackstone is a different kind of a financial institution, but nonetheless, it has lagged behind, and it might be starting to play catch up. Risk reward on this are great. The reward might be these previous highs. The risk is, first of all, look at how, like, this bottoming pattern, it's like W, this almost like a head and shoulders, a reverse head and shoulders, and how above this line, the price comes and then it fails, then it comes up, and now it's like resting there, and it might continue a rally. Um, it just looks amazing. The way I would get into this trade is that major support level should be 2908. And how price behaves around that. If you get into this trade, you should look at this level very closely. Another thing is that you need to look at the 8 EMA. This is where I would get out of the trade. At the weekly 8 EMA, and the way I would get into this trade is that, so it's already in play. So the high of Friday, which is 2960, if the price invades above this and closes on a 5-minute chart, if the price closes above 2960 on Monday, depending, granted, given that what kind of pattern it is on the 5-minute chart, but it should be a buy if it goes above 2960. That's the way I would be getting into this trade. And yeah, those are the two excellent trades that are on my radar right now.